Hello and welcome. I'm Gaz and this is my channel Eridani Hinton. It's been a week since I recorded my last video, and while it was a lot of fun recording videos each day for you all, it's actually like a bit of a nice break, I suppose, having my last video recorded Monday last week and then Monday today. So in that week, I've actually changed up my project queue. So I was working obviously the Dragon Belly and JoyCal, and I also had VVCAL that was sitting here. If you saw previous videos, you will have seen a blanket folded up there. That was the VVCAL, and then also I'm designing a knitting project or a recipe for mitered squares anyway. So because I don't like having too many projects of the same type all happening all at once, I'm going to focus on just the one, and that's going to be Rachel Kimona's 2022 VVCAL. So last time you saw this, you only got to see one square. It was all folded up. So I'll show you properly this time. So this is, I'm only 3 rows in. I think last time it was one of these two pinks, the third or the fourth one across is where I was last time. So I finished off that row and now I've started row 4. So I don't know if I mentioned last time, but this is made from Scapius Catona 109 color pack. So that's 109 10-gram balls, and they're all obviously different colors. They go through the rainbow and then a couple neutrals as well. So the bag that you will have seen behind me, that was full of all of my finished hexies. So this is just a couple of them. So I keep them in the ball band just so I know which color's which, because I'm designing, or rather I'm putting the blanket together in the way that it's designed in the pattern. So I have just a bag full of completed hexies. I don't know what's the best way to show this, but it's really fun digging into this bag, looking through all the colors. And before I started vlogging this table behind me, I just had them laid out sort of in color families. So if I was in the pink sort of area, I could go to the pinks. If I'm in the, I think there was orange in the first row, I could just come to the oranges. I know it's easy to find, sift through 109 different colors back when there was that many. It gets easier to find the colors as you start working them into the blanket. So that, sorry, I should have mentioned, the VVCAL, there's 17 weeks of crocheting hexies. So every week you'll have plain hexies, which are these guys here. These are solid hexies. And there's another, I can't remember exactly, maybe it's this one here. This is plain hexie B. So every week you'll have either one of each or two of each of plain hexie A and B, and then you'll have 2 of these different patterns. Yeah, that's definitely plain hexie B there. So that's sort of like a 2 DC granny, and then hexie A is solid DC. And then yeah, so you have all these funky flowers. I really like them. Not all of them are flowers. This one here is more like a wheel, I suppose. So yeah, so this is 2022 VVCAL. So I'm going to work on this one pretty well exclusively until it's done. So you can see on the sides here, there's some gaps, so they'll get filled in with half hexagons. I haven't made them yet. You don't make them until they're all done, till the blanket body is all together, and then you'll make the half hexies and then border all around. So that's that one. What else? Oh, so this is the color I'm working at the moment. So this is the border row 2 is a V-stitch round. This is another plain hexie A, just that solid DC granny. And then row 3 is a solid row. You fill it full of solid DC here, and then you join with a lace join. And I'm not sure if you could see it in previous videos, but behind me I had a yarn butler. And this is a yarn butler. There's so many different types. This one, the manufacturer is Scapius. You won't be able to see it if I try and show you this one. But all it is if you're working from the outside of the ball or the cake or whatever it is you happen to have on, you can put it on this spindle. That's it there, and it's just some silicon on top here, and then I think there's probably silicon inside too. Obviously, silicon on silicon, there's no friction, so you can see how light I'm pulling. So for working from the outside of a skein, hank, or not a hank, cake, anything, balls, whatever, the yarn butler is the way to go. I don't know, or the shop that I bought this from, Bella May Yarns, Yasmin, she doesn't sell cool gadgets anymore. She sticks with purely yarn now. So I'll see if I can find this particular one sold elsewhere, but it doesn't matter who makes it. They're all the same thing. But you absolutely can recommend getting one if you need to work on yarn from the outside of the ball, cake, whatever you're working. So that's it for what I've been working on this week. I've done a whole bunch of genealogy, so pretty much all of yesterday, and I'm actually not going to do any crochet today. I'm going to go straight on to WikiTree and find my past and just do more genealogy. I don't know if I talked about it on a previous episode, but I'm trying to find my Nana's granddad, I think it is, my great uncle. Yeah, so my Nana's brother. My Nana, she didn't want to know about anything to do with that, with the skeletons in the closet. So every time we talked about it, she'd cover her ears. La 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 la. So with my great uncle, I've got his DNA through my heritage. From Family Tree DNA, because I'm interested in finding his paternal grandfather. So I've used Family Tree DNA, so that way we can look at Y chromosomal DNA. So then I've uploaded it to my heritage, and then that's probably the second best, I want to say. If you're white, it's probably the second best DNA match service. And then I've got him. Who's that? Ancestry. I've got him an Ancestry DNA kit, but I'm not sure, just because of his age, I'm not sure that he's able to make enough saliva. But next time I'm down in Brizzy, I'll go see him and see if we can make it work. If not, that's fine. But for my own DNA, I think that I might have found a link to that part of the family we don't know. So if I can use DNA that's 2 generations older, then we're going to have a lot more success, I think. So I'll link my WikiTree below. It's just a bit of fun. I spend way too much money and way too much time on there, but I think WikiTree is the best place to publish your research if you're into genealogy. It's sort of a bit like Family Search in that every person only has one profile page. So there's not like how Ancestry or MyHeritage or all these others. Everyone has separate family trees, and sometimes people have like 2 or 3 family trees with the same person on there. Maybe if you might have 3 family trees with your parents on there, but this one here, 1 family tree for the world. So and the way it works is that you cite your sources. That's like super important. It's a big faux pas or no-no or taboo or whatever you want to use there. If you don't cite your sources, you get a bit rebuked. So that's a good thing, because that keeps you honest. Then you can say, this is how I know that this person is the person in the record, and this is how I know that this record is whatever. So it's a really good place to be, WikiTree. The community is great too. If you have any kind of question, jump straight on their forum, and they'll answer it for you. So yeah, that's what I've been doing all yesterday, and then I'll do that again this afternoon too. I had because I only come back to it every now and then, I can only get so far with building other people's trees, because that's how you have to do it. You have to find someone you're related to, or your person is related to, and build out their tree because they haven't done it. And then you find out how those two people are related. But there's only so far you can get. But sometime in the last fortnight, there was a new DNA match who was the daughter of someone that's quite closely related, and she had more information in her family tree. So now I'm able to grow her family tree, because it's also not very complete, and nothing wrong with that. Not shaming, but yeah, her family tree wasn't very complete. So I'm just trying to fill that out for her, and then I can find out how her and my great uncle are related. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it. I get a bit passionate sometimes. So that's my plan for the rest of tonight. But my plan for the next week, so obviously VVCAL, and I want to have a sewing week this week or this weekend. So I bought myself a bin, just a steel bucket with a handle, and I want to make a liner for it, because it's only going to have like paper scraps or fabric scraps and pieces of cut off yarn from sewing in ends. So I want to make a bin liner for it, and so I have this for the inside. I don't know anything about fabric, so I don't know what this is called, but it's like some kind of variegated kind of looking thing. I don't know what they call that. And then I have a coordinating fabric. So this will be the inside, and then coordinating fabric will go around the outside, and I'll make a buttonhole, so that I can put the handle back through. So I have fat quarters from a long, long time ago, a whole bunch of different greens. So this is, I think, my favorite color out of them. So that's that one there. And then I have some yardage, and that is that one there. So I'm not sure which color to go, but I'll figure it out. And then, yeah, hopefully on the weekend, I'll have a bin liner. And also, while I'm there, I want to at least make a start on those, what's that word? Bowl cozy, the quilted bowl cozies. At least if I can just like sew the darts, maybe. I think that's the first thing you do, sewing the darts. So I think that's it for plans. I actually, when I was putting together, when I was doing the subtitles last week for the final episode of Vlogmas in July, I realized I'd forgotten my 3 nice things. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to combine and make 6 nice things. I'm just going to make sure that I don't forget again. By that stage, it was too late to add them in. My videos, or those videos at least, were about 20 minutes long. And so that takes like 4 to 6 hours to upload. So there was no way that I could delete that video and then add, like reshoot a little bit, add it, edit that in, and then re-upload again to YouTube. There was no way I was doing that. So yeah, I'll just skip it. But yeah, I'll be a bit more vigilant. So first nice thing for this week is going to be the Triple J Hottest 100 of Australian Songs. That is one of the greatest playlists that's ever been made. So whether you're into Australian, whether you are Australian or not, doesn't matter. You'll recognise or definitely most of the songs anyway. There's AC/DC, In Excess, there's Daryl Braithwaite, like who else is there? Oh, there's a whole bunch. You'll recognise them anyway. That is literally one of the greatest playlists. It's got right from, I think, the 70s. So the idea of the Hottest 100 is that it's a 50-year anniversary of Triple J radio station this year. So they put it out to the whole of Australia to vote on what's their 10 favourite songs, or 10 favourite Australian songs. Only in the last 50 years, though. So yeah, from 1975 onwards. So yeah, so it's got songs that were released this decade and songs that were released in the 70s. It's amazing. Stevie Wright, he's there. He was number 97, I think, with Evie. So I think everyone knows that song. I'm not going to sing it. So that's my first nice thing, is Triple J Hottest 100 of Australian Songs. I'm definitely linking that below, because been listening to it non-stop. Second nice thing is Australian cotton. So I've been trying to find for the longest time, like more than a decade. I've been trying to find cotton that's grown in Australia and then made in Australia. I don't think it exists. There has been a couple companies that pop up that might make a finished product like towels or something like this, but not cotton as in yarn or thread. It's always like a finished product, and then those companies don't seem to last very long. So unfortunately, I still haven't been able to find it because that company doesn't exist. But this company here, Rosabella, actually I should show you the other side that's not shiny. There we go, Rosabella. They use 100% Australian grown cotton, and then these fantastic colours, they're actually dyed in somewhere in the UK. I'm not sure exactly where or by who. I have been to the website before, but yeah, it just slips my mind at the moment. And then there's a whole bunch. Oh, there's a sticker from the back of the packet. There's a whole bunch of cool colours there. So it's all folded in half. I do apologise for that. I've been holding some colours together so I can find out what colours I want to make for shawlography, because I saw that pattern not too long ago and decided that I want to make a shawlography. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with a couple of these really dark blues, and there's a nearly black here. Maybe it's this one, but I've written them down anyway. So so this is my second nice thing, is Rosabella Australian cotton. It is dyed in the UK, but that's fine. The product doesn't exist, so you can't be too sad about it. So this is an 8-ply and a 4-ply they have. It's really good. They were on holidays when I ordered the what's this thing called? The sample card. Yeah, sample card, whatever it's called anyway. They were on holidays when I ordered that, and so it was only like a week delay, maybe not even that. And they sent me a nice email saying, "Oh, sorry, we'll send you something." And they sent me actually two like 15-gram skeins of yarn, one 4-ply and one 8-ply. I wasn't expecting that, but there you go. Very nice people too to deal with. So so there you go. And then my third nice thing is Knit Pro. I'm not sure if this is called Symphony, because they're knitting needles, and I think they maybe make crochet hooks too called Symphony. But this is that same dyed and laminated ply. So this is the ball winder. I'll link it. I got this one from Morris and Sons. They have stores in Sydney and Melbourne. But this is that same dyed and laminated ply board that Symphony uses. So this is the ball winder. This thing makes huge cakes. Sorry, it makes huge cakes. I haven't tested it to its limit yet, but yeah, it gets quite big. And this little guy here is what stops the spinning. So when your cake gets big enough, it will slowly lift, and then it will lift off that cone and stop spinning. Or yeah, stop winding anyway. And I also have the Swift. It's a bit hard to show you. Oh no, maybe not. I've wrapped it up and it hasn't fallen out, so that's it there. So I'm not going to open it. I'll trap my finger or something inside. But yeah, this is that. This is the, I don't know what the range is called, but yeah, it's the Knit Pro Yarn Swift. When I opened this, it reminded me of paddle pop stick project you make when you're a kid, when you're in like preschool or something. You know, it's just these paddle pop sticks. I was like, oh, that's a bit shonky, but no, it's yeah, it's lovely. I loved using this thing for all 24 days of the advent calendar. It was so cool. So that's it, I think, for the video. I think we're all done. I'm going to what am I going to do? I need to go have a shower and then jump online, Wikitree, and find my past, and then yeah, lose myself in the internet. So I'll see you next week. Have a good one.